Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Dave, and we're finally getting to these fig trees, and I have once again, as it always seems to be with me, waited too long. So if you look and see, I'm going to show you these, oh there you go. These figs have already started to bud. Pruning them now is probably going to set them back a little bit, but I'm not going to cut all this away. Last year I did a quick video, I'm going to turn you around, and showed how I had coppiced these. I literally just came through and took a chainsaw and just coppiced every single piece and got rid of it. And just cut the bush off even. I did it with both of them. Did not do anything much beyond that. This year, we are going to trim some of this down. You can see this is already way above my head. However, it will grow plenty, and trimming these apical buds will actually hopefully stimulate some lateral growth, which is where a lot of your figs are going to be. So this, for example, let me grab one here. Got an old leaf in it. Okay, so here, that's where I cut it off last year. And that's all last summer's growth. That's how much it grew after I cut it off. So we're going to trim that back. I'm not worried about its ability to grow. I don't like that it'll be putting more energy into growing than probably putting out some figs again, but that's all right. These bushes have gotten out of hand and they really need to be cut back. The bigger thing I'm going to be doing is, for example, all these you see all these multi leaves here. Both bushes have them. The other bushes over there, they need to be cut out. For example, there's one, I don't know if you can see right there, that's got some rotten wood and some disease. We're going to cut all that out. We're going to cut these ones out, for example, like these two, where they are pressed together, they rub together, and that can create openings in the bark and things like that for disease. So we're going to trim these down to far fewer leads, and we're going to take out basically like whole sections. Not this one, that's actually a pretty good one, but like these two most likely will both go. And I'm going to get my loppers, I'm going to get my bypass pruners, you know, the hand ones, and probably have to grab a little buck saw or something. And we're going to get started on this. So stick around and I'll talk to you in a bit. All right, I'm back. Here we go. Oh, the buck saw wasn't really going to fit in between, so we got something a little more heavy duty and something that'll make the job go by a little quicker. So as I said before, we're going to cut out all the unwanted branches that are growing from the bottom, all the unwanted whatever trunks or stems, and then we're going to trim back the ones we have left. And let's get to it. These trees haven't been trimmed great in quite a few years, and they're out of hand, and they're going to take some time to get back into shape. What I would really like to do is train a more central leader. However, this bush does not have one. The other bush does have a more central leader. So what I'm doing is cutting out everything in the middle, opening that up. That cuts down on any kind of mold and all sorts of issues with the fruit later on, and it also lets the air circulate. And I'm going to let it go from there, and I'm going to see if I don't get a better leader this year that comes out of that, and possibly will form a central leader later on. These fig trees grow quick, and you only have a year or two before the wood's producing growth. Now what I've got left here, as I showed you in the intro, is a lot of that is first year growth. I'm going to snip that back, cut that tip off at least, train it, cut it back to where it's within reach. I'm 6'1", so you know that's probably 7.5 feet. I want to trim it down below that so that I can number one, more easily get to the fruit. Number two, trimming those tips off will help lateral growth. That's great. That's first year, 1 year old wood. It's great for growing. We're not going to throw a lot of that away, but rather we're going to take that and we're going to put it into some medium and hopefully root some more fig trees that we can continue along this. This is a property line right here. If you see beyond where it's kind of overgrown, that's where the property ends. So continuing down along that line with more fig trees will just help us to number one, delineate the property, but also it's, you know, adding to that permaculture. So we're going to get our loppers here and go to it. Hang on one sec. Okay, I'm pretty well done. You can see that it's roughly, I missed one right there, right in the foreground. I got to get that one cut too. But I've tried to trim all of them. That trimming that end, that apical bud, you can see that right there. That is the growing end. Trimming that off will make the bush want to expand more. You can see I've trimmed everything out of the middle, all the branches that were rubbing. Some of them had spots on them and things like that that will possibly lead to infection. And I've ended up with sticks like this. You can see I trimmed it, this one, just for purposes to show you, trimmed it right below the node. And this node, what we'll do is put that in rooting hormone and into a into a medium, and see if we can't get some of these to root. I'll pick these all up after the video's over. It's definitely a little bit late in the season. The sap is starting to run, this milky latex sap that the trees have. Always be careful if you have latex allergies. Really don't want to be fooling around with these, and at the very least make sure you are wearing gloves, nitrile gloves or something to protect your hands and not end up with a bunch of rashes. So that's it. I have never had training in pruning a fig tree. I've read up on it, and this is what I've got done. I pruned out the middle. I don't have a leader for this one. That one I'm going to have a strong central leader. It will probably be more tree shaped, the other bush that I have. We're going to go with that. The other thing I wanted to say, again, it's all pretty similar, the height all the way around. This will grow up even higher this year. It'll be well over my head, I'm sure, but it'll also stimulate a lot of lateral growth. And as the plant warms up here, we're mid-March and we're already having 70-degree days. These trees are going to warm up quickly. The sap's going to warm up, and when that happens, the growth hormone is going to start coming up. Growth hormone is going to go to the highest part of the tree. So rather than have one leader on this one that is getting all the growth and shooting up, and all the hormone is for fruit set and production and for plant growth, it's going to be spread among several. But we've cut some of these other ones out, so it should be more concentrated, and we'll see how that does. And the other one will look a little different, and maybe we'll show that in a later video, but I didn't want this one to get too long, and I've got a lot to do today. So I hope you learned something. I hope this was useful for you. If you have any comments and suggestions, if you work with fig trees a lot and you have something that you see I'm doing wrong or perhaps could do better, by all means, please leave a comment. Otherwise, stay safe, stay prepared, like and share, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks. Bye. Ba-dee, ba-dee, ba-dee. That's all, folks.